Drew brings Carly to the Metro Court and she wonders why this place. He says he thought time alone together would be nice, and it's close to GH, but he knows being here could be tough, so they could go elsewhere. She tells him being with him anywhere is perfect, and they kiss. Finn meets with Gregory at the Metro Court because his father had news that couldn't wait. Finn spots Tracy and says it will have to wait a moment. Finn heads over to see her and can't believe Tracy came back and didn't call him. She apologizes and they hug. Finn introduces Tracy to his father, and they invite her to join them. She says she's meeting someone else when in walks Chase. She explains Chase and his granddaughter are involved, and she needs to get to know him. She tells Finn she'll be in touch, and she and Chase grab a table. Tracy, with Chase, greets Carly and Drew before they grab a table, dropping a few insults naturally. Chase asks Carly to let Willow know he's sending good thoughts her way. They grab a table. Chase is stumped as to why she wanted to meet him. Tracy says Brooklyn did everything for him, and he broke her heart. She suggests he either forgive her or cut her loose. Frankly, she thinks Brooklyn deserves someone worthy of her and the air she breathes, and he needs someone who can live up to his hefty moral standards. Back at the bar, Carly brings up the trouble they are in, and they are going to be pitted against one another. Drew thinks they need to go after the person who turned them in. Drew says Ned has a lot of contracts still, and he could pull strings to get the SEC off their backs. Carly asks why Ned would do that. Drew says they just need leverage to use against him, but what to use? Carly thinks they could use Tracy against Ned somehow. Drew agrees they could try and find dirt on Tracy and take it to Ned, forcing him to choose to save them or let Tracy go down. Gregory and Finn get a table, and Gregory reveals he's booked a family vacation to Disney for next week. Finn explains he can't just drop his patients. Violet has school, and Chase just got his job back. Finn asks why this has to be now. Gregory says Violet is growing up so fast, and he wants to make as many memories as he can before it's too late. Suddenly Finn sees Tracy is blasting Chase, but also has to excuse himself to take a call from the hospital. Gregory interrupts Chase and Tracy's argument and asks if there is a problem. Tracy doesn't see how this involves him. Gregory says he's Chase's father and realizes Tracy is Brooklyn's grandmother. Tracy says Chase doesn't see what he has in Brooklyn and should be begging her to take him back. Gregory defends Chase's virtues, but Tracy notes he lacks the ability to forgive. Gregory says he raised his sons to ignore snobs like her. Finn interrupts and pulls Tracy away. Finn asks Tracy what is going on. Tracy says she and his father are having a difference of opinion about his brother. Finn knows Brooklyn and Chase have had their problems, but that's for them to figure out. Tracy doesn't sit on the sidelines when her family is slighted, and she may be forced to open her eyes to who Chase really is. Meanwhile, Chase tells Gregory he had this under control, but he appreciates him defending him. However, he never saw smoke come out of his ears and wonders what is up. Gregory says Tracy was attacking him, and no matter what, he'll protect his son as long as he's able to. They embrace, but Chase appears worried. At Kelly's, Cody tells Sasha he was just leaving. Sasha asks him not to as she came to find him and wants to know why he's still keeping things from her. He doesn't feel like hanging around for more false accusations, but Sasha says she knows what he did for her at the studio. They grab a table, and he admits what he did when he heard she was being trolled on social media. He says when he got there, he found the producer and production assistant playing the baby sound in her earpiece, and he later had words with Haven. He informs her it's safe to say she can go on the show again with no problems. Sasha can't believe he did that after she said she couldn't trust him. He says that's the story of his life, nobody trusts him. Sasha thanks him for what he did and asks if he would ever have told her. Cody says he wasn't going to as he didn't know how she'd react, and they weren't on the friendliest of terms. Sasha is sorry she judged him too quickly. Cody says she was defending Gladys, which he could understand if she hadn't framed him for stealing that bracelet. Sasha considers him a friend and is sorry things got so complicated between them. She'd like to get back to being friends, but he doesn't see how that can happen. He asks if she still believes he stole that bracelet. She doesn't, but she also doesn't believe it was Gladys who framed him. Cody says he is glad she doesn't believe he's guilty, but someday he hopes she sees he's telling her the truth. He then walks off. Gladys meets with Ms. Wu at the Savoy. Gladys has news. She saw one of Sunny's men pay one of his employees a big bonus, so something big must have gone down. Selena says she'll knock $5,000 off for that info, but she still owes her $8,000. Gladys can get her the money, but it must be in installments so as to not raise any red flags. Ms. Wu says she's leaving for Singapore and will give her until she returns to get the money, at an interest of 20% a week. Gladys says that will take her longer to pay off, and Sasha may be terminating the guardianship. Ms. Wu doesn't care and expects to be paid in full when she returns. Ms. Wu walks off. Gladys makes one small transfer from Sasha's account. Afterward, Sasha calls Gladys and she says she's set up an appointment with her doctor to discuss dissolving the guardianship. Alone, Ms. Wu's associate can't believe she showed Gladys so much grace. Wu says grace has nothing to do with this. She says if Gladys doesn't have the money, she'll likely run off, and Sunny will have to pay her debt with a favor to her. Joss and Michael talk at GH. She is furious with Michael for changing his mind about Sunny and leaving Dex in an impossible spot. Michael says Dex understood the risks of this job, but his backing out at the last minute wasn't part of the deal. She yells there is no way out of this for Dex. Michael said he can leave, but Joss says he is staying for her. Michael yells, "How could you do that to him?" Joss accuses him of not seeing Dex as a real person and that he doesn't care about him. Michael says, "But you do." Joss confirms she does. Mitchell says when he found Dex he had no family, no connections, and he was just a hired gun, and that's what he wanted. Joss tells her brother at this moment he's the only one who can save Dex, and he needs to turn Sunny in. Michael explains he can't because Willow asked him not to. Willow pointed out this would blow their family apart, and it would force Avery and Donna to choose between him and Sunny, as well as her and Christina. Joss gets it is a mess, but there must be a better solution than leaving Dex out to dry. Michael says nobody forced Dex to take this job, and he can still get out, but is throwing it away because of her. Joss cries that bailing on this deal not only upended Dex's life, but hers too. Michael tells Joss that she's going to be a doctor, so what kind of relationship can she have with Dex long term? He says she's kidding herself if she thinks she can make things work with Dex, and the kinder thing is to let him go. She refuses to do that and says she'll find a way out for them both and storms out. At the Crimson office, Nina tells Sunny that Willow wants her to make peace with Carly, but she fears it's the one thing she can never give her. He says she can try, but Nina says she has tried twice and Carly keeps shooting her down. Nina understands why Willow is upset at her. She has made mistakes over and over, but as long as Carly supports Willow's decision to keep her out of her life, Willow will never reconsider. Sunny hates she's going through this. Nina thanks him for being on her side because it feels like no one else is. Sunny wants her to have a relationship with Willow, and admits Michael came to him to make peace, but there is a condition. He says Michael will let Willow decide whether she wants a relationship with her, and he must stay neutral in all of this. Nina asks Sunny what makes him think he can trust Michael. She says Michael would do anything for Willow, and now Sunny's place in the family is contingent on Michael's terms. She says Michael may not hold up his end of the deal. Sunny believes Michael was sincere in what he said. Nina wants him to do whatever it takes to heal his family, and she is happy he gets this chance. However, this means as he grows closer to his family, she'll be left out with non-invites to family events, and it's already begun with Willow's wedding. She knows this is going to cause a strain on their relationship, and she's just going to have to learn how to be on the outside. Sunny says that's not going to happen and asks Nina to marry him. On the next General Hospital, Joss runs into Dex in the steam room. Brooklyn asks someone why they couldn't stay out of this like they promised. Finn asks Chase if he can put all of this behind him for good. Trina suggests to Spencer it would be better for everyone for them to get along. Tracy says, "You are better off without him." Carly tells Olivia, "Your husband, he's a different story." Sunny asks Nina, who has tears in her eyes, if she's reconsidered her answer.